Welcome to the Creative and Code podcast.
Welcome to the internet, my friend.
Brought to you by ID Digital Agency.
Kind of a big deal.
Dive into the dynamic world of digital marketing, creative design, and coding with top experts, latest trends, and actionable insights. Let's get inspired and innovate together.
It's showtime.
All right, welcome, Soumya, to the podcast. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for coming down. You're based at the Commons in Cremorne, and we're based here at South Melbourne Central House. When did you decide to go into a co-working space?
Honestly, COVID. We had a serviced office before. I did the offices run for a long time, and then I decided, A, I don't want to put my own trash out, and B, I just really struggled with the expense and the stress of not seeing people come in the office, because we had 8 bums on seats that never even were there through COVID, and I was like, oh my God, I just can't do this. And I loved it, but I also knew it was time to I also became a mum in that time.
Congrats.
Cool. He's now almost 3. Not 3 yet, but talks like he's 59, which we can talk about another time. But basically, everything sort of came together, and it was a perfect time for me to look out for something else. And then I went hunting, and somebody who worked out of Commons before, she said, why don't you go have a look at this one? It's coming up. And they were just breaking ground or something there. There was not a lot of, it was just a skeleton of a building. And I walked in, and Shannon, and she was so lovely and just took me through the whole place, and it just felt warm and welcoming, quite contrary to my Collins Street address before, which was very serious.
Yeah, and quiet, and doesn't have that cultural vibe that these places have these days.
Because we're so chill, and then I had to walk into lifts and be like, oh my God, I'm so underdressed, oh my God, everyone, they don't know how to smile. I just want to tickle people in the lift almost. I'm like, dude, you want to smile? It's Monday morning. But
exactly.
I never got it. So I was like, look, I'm in the wrong place. I knew it, but I think sometimes you just get quite comfortable. And it just went on. But then I changed, but thanks to COVID. And then now we're just a gyre of different, mostly remote too. So, there's all of that, and it's a good place to be.
And we'll come back to the remote stuff. I remember we used to be in our own office in Armidale, which is about a 15-minute drive from here. And you're right, when you have your own space, you're having to clean your own bathrooms and get the toilet paper, buy the beers, clean everything else. And there's so many other things that you don't really think of as a client coming in that you have to do, or as a business owner. So we were there for 7 or 8 years. And then one of our clients said, hey, we work at the Commons. I'm like, what's that? And they said, come and have a meeting. And I'm like, this place is unreal. It's going back to the dorms or something at university, where everyone's friendly and there's little chill out spots and phone booths. And I thought it was just a great idea. And then I found out the rent was probably 2.5 times what we were paying. But then you have a look at it too. It's all your high-speed internet. It's all that cleaning stuff is done for you. The breakfasts are there every morning. And it just made sense. So we had to justify 2.5 times the rent, same people, same bums on seats. And that was quite hard to do. But, we just saw if we increased our productivity, we didn't have to spend so much on sales, because there are people around that would want what we do. It would be more beneficial. And, that was 8 years ago now, and we're still here.
Yeah.
So different locations.
Yeah.
But, it's
That's
where
amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't figure it was around that long, but it's good to know.
Yeah, we were at the South Melbourne one up here, probably a year after they opened that. And that was, I think, the Commons' second place, because they had Collingwood,
in
Gibb Street.
Yeah, that's the one I said.
And then now there's 13 or 14 of them. And they're one of our clients, and we do all their website and applications, web apps and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I
when
noticed
you
the
make a
Spotify one once. I saw ID Digital come up. I was like,
oh nice.
I snoopty. Anyway.
So coming back to what we were talking about before with the co-working, and obviously working remotely too. How do you find that works for your business? Given, I think you and I are very similar in we like to be people.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, and have people around. Yeah. It's a lot of people these days like to be at home and be a little bit more introverted, or have that space where they can work a little bit more efficiently. How do you find it works for your business?
I think for me personally, I still have to like force like, hey, everyone come in on Wednesdays days, because I'm just like, I just want warm, fuzzy things. But that's why the co-working space isn't such a bad thing, because something as a business owner, you can't share stuff with your team that you could potentially share with like randos around the space, you know, like it's just more chill sometimes, I think.
Especially if someone across the hall's wearing a weird jumper or something, you need to be able to say that to someone. What do you think of that jumper? It's a bit strange. Or, yeah.
I just really, honestly, I'm an open book. It's really bizarre because I could actually say really unnecessary things to people I work with. And it's really fun, like that I just have learned about, like, I don't know, forestry or like agriculture or like some really new spots. Because that was the cool thing even about the business when I started, because I learned about, like, I don't know, earth moving, you know, because excavators was like one of the first clients I got, like, in, you know, in the days of yore. So I was like, I think the newness of what other people do is just really actually fun to learn more about. I really thrive in like understanding what I don't understand, and it's really actually been great for that, I think.
Yeah, I saw on your website, so your business is Connect Labs, and it's people everywhere of how you want to connect, and everyone's got a story. And so I think, from what I could see, you really want to define the story for your clients and figure out what they do, and then be able to connect that through growth opportunities through tools like HubSpot.
Yes, definitely. Jay, when we started, like in 2015, we were such a core marketing focused business. And prior to that, I worked at like a established / also startup-y spot in like the Mornington Peninsula for like 4-something years. Yeah. And there, the CEO at the time, who I used to work with directly, he and I like scoped out a few systems, and he also found HubSpot. And I'd just been fresh out of like, you know, my life at Google and, you know, coming out of like advertising and all of that. And HubSpot just sold concept over the software, which was, I think, the core reason that, you know, companies can grow with it. The concept of like attracting more people to your brand, you know, being nice and converting and all of that stuff really resonated with me in 2015. So I said, okay, you know, there's like a bit of a gap, and, you know, we'll sort of fit into that. But when we actually saw that the marketing space is like bursting with like a lot of different tech stacks, we thought that while content is like everything for most businesses, selling content just as content has its downsides. So like thinking about a tool like HubSpot and making it a bit more, you know, you can attribute a campaign better, you can do all of that stuff. You can do it separately with multiple tools, but you can do it really well with this one tool, is what we found. And so I took what I learned at that company, grew this, you know, sales marketing team, you know, by like, you know, 70%. And after that, I was like, look, this is where, you know, I think businesses can really grow. And
that light bulb moment went off for you, and you're just like, I want to do this for others. And I find it quite baffling these days too, that not a lot of businesses have embraced this way of doing business, which can be, you know, through conversion forms and automation and workflows and all that kind of stuff. It can run almost itself these days through it. In order to obviously get those people connections is important too. But having the sales hub and having the marketing hub and all that kind of stuff connected in HubSpot just makes sense. And we try and, obviously there's the price factor, it's quite expensive, and that's always a draw card. And obviously their salespeople are very, very pushy. But the underlying core of HubSpot's actually very good. And I think we've got about a dozen or so clients of ours on HubSpot just for the web part of it, not really the sales part of it at the moment. And I know that's probably what you do more of anyway too. So what were the key things from like the HubSpot platform, especially back then it was a bit different, that, you know, got you attracted to it?
Like I said, huge benefit for SEO, marketing, attribution, campaigns, and setting up landing pages, because, you know, obviously that's a developer's job. But easily enough, like a marketer could just sit there and say, hey, like, you know, someone's had a change of mind, we don't have to call like external dev team to like, you know, fix that up, because a lot of these small medium businesses don't have in-house like dev teams, and it's like not like an easy thing to like go change something. You'd need like 20 different things, and the budget has to be also that big, which not everyone can get, you know, like either good talent or, so it's not just cost, it's also good talent, right? So I think I just saw that it's such a great thing that you can get a tool and then see everything in one place. And I was sold on the all-in-one systemness of the marketing only tool at that time, and we're talking like 2020, like 11 or something. And then after that, I think it's had Sales Hub, and then we saw like everyone was like, oh, we've got a sales process, but all of this stuff that has to happen, like all the operations in the background, which, you know, all the process mapping, all the automation that comes with it. You know, everyone was like, oh, you know, the forms come in, the lead sitting there. We've done all these campaigns, and then we want them to be qualified enough to take them to the next stage. MQL. Like, what do we do with that? And then we were like, oh, that's where there's a bit of like thinking work.
It's very much a niche area that I found, is that people seem to just play and they don't do it correctly. One of our clients has had it done correctly, and it's incredible what they've been able to do. They've only got 3 conversion forms on their website. One's to download a price list, one is to request a design consultation, and then one's a generic form. But all of them, based on the inputs as well, have different pipelines that they go through, or different flows that then respond with, you know, different emails. And then if they come back, or if they go to the website again, like you can track that through HubSpot, which is amazing. And all these little, I guess, trigger points then convert it to the right person to say, yep, this is a very hot lead. They've got the money, they've got, you know, the right land or whatever it might be. This is for a modular building company. And off they go. They go off and there's their sales increase, and it's great.
Yeah, and then actually seeing that, like we almost start
down,
we almost start from like, what do you want to see at the end of the day? You're gonna engage like a company like us or like yours to do certain things. Like, what's the outcome? Like, what do you want to really be excited about? Like, what will bring that smile on your face so you don't like drive shittily in traffic, you know, tomorrow? Things like that. Like, we sit in, like we have this chat, and we're like, you know, so let's talk about those metrics. Like, how do you surface all of these things that are important to your
that you can create in there are just phenomenal too. So it's very specific for your business.
Yeah, it's gotten more and more complex. Now you need like more skills to do them. But if you know what you're looking for, it's actually beautiful to watch like everything in one place. Like it takes less out of you, and you don't need business analysts and like, you know, 3 others putting their head together to like actually figure out what they need to see. The out of the box stuff works too. And
I noticed, even the free kind of plans that you can get for sales and marketing, and there was another one in there, Content Hub. That they're not bad, but then with the sales workflows, or you get one kind of trigger point as part of the free, which is good. Most people just need it to trigger to email and then say that it's there, but then you can have other things and funnels, and it goes to different lists, and can give them your generic PDFs or whatever. So I think you definitely have to be on a pay plan if you wanted to do this the right way in HubSpot. But it's great to be able to get in there and just set up a free account, get some basic pages online, get an inquiry form, and off you go. And likely too, what's really great is if they don't want to do the HubSpot website, if they don't want to build it in there, you can just use the HubSpot little widget code, and you can get your live chat, you can get your inquiry forms pumping and all your tracking. And so that's why we've seen it and gone, okay, we're going to, and this was a couple of years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, we're just like, we'll support this platform and then provide it to our clients. It's not the only one that we do, because obviously clients got different things that they need. But so I definitely can see where you're coming from, and you're now dedicated to HubSpot. That's the only platform you work on?
On the website front, we've worked on multiple before, but to be honest, right from 2015, we've been very focused on the HubSpot space, simply because I always thought it's better to grow a team and their skills in one place than multiple, because I also had never done business life before. So I didn't know what I was getting into, but I knew if I did too much that we wouldn't be able to scale, because I don't think like it's that easy. Like my partners have helped us grow into multiple areas. Like because you know, like I moved here from India like 15 years ago. I've got like excellent you know, a talent at my doorstep because my friends own like really great digital companies, you know, in India. So I don't have to go hunting for them or like, you know, had that benefit. That
Great. So you've got that consistent work still coming through.
Yes. Like it's work as in like if someone said, hey, we have like Zoho and like a website and we might need to integrate this with like Xero plus like, or we've got Salesforce for sales, but we want marketing through HubSpot. Like, how do we make all of this work? You need like the brains to do it.
Yeah.
I just personally decided that if I hire locally for anything to do with anything outside of HubSpot, I would struggle with building that sort of
like an ecosystem.
Building that strength to say, look, we do something really well, because technology is in everyone's cup of tea. We want it to be like content focused as much as possible, and the tech piece was like the addition to bring that content come to life, whether it's on the website or like a campaign or like in, you know, automation. So all of that, plugging the content with like people and like process and like really see it come to life, needed a platform like HubSpot. So it seemed like the right thing to do to like tell my team, look, learn HubSpot, learn it well. And I've got like a zillion people certified on HubSpot. Like I was like, go to the academy, it's free. Just get a certification. You know, it's like, and you can put it on your LinkedIn, be cool. I have like interns that I've had over 30 interns since I've started, and everyone's got like great jobs, you know.
Fantastic.
Like,
that's so good.
You know, through all of this experience that they've learned with tech. But if I'd done too much, I don't think I'd have given any intern or any work experience person that came through the doors like anything of value quickly enough. That's, anyway, in summary, like it's just, I think for me as a business owner, a conscious decision that I'll stick in the HubSpot space. Also, I loved working with a lot of people there over time. Yeah,
I know. I saw that you had also been on a board of some sort as well for a year or so.
Yeah, that's like the Partner Advisory Council. HubSpot's really good at trying to get like everyone involved in like a conversation so you can have a say. So we did a fair bit of that when we were like super active in like growing that ecosystem in that time. Because I think when I first started the HubSpot user group in Melbourne, it was August 2014 or something, I think. And there was no HubSpot office in all of Asia Pacific, I think, in those days. Okay. So when we were just starting to get, you know, make a big sound and like walk around, I was wearing like HubSpot t-shirts and like, you know.
You were the representative.
Yeah, I pretty much was, I feel.
Yeah.
And I just like, I think I talked to like the sales team, like a bunch of, you know, the founding team members in like Sydney when they first came, because they weren't really setting up an office yet. And when they set it up and like all of this stuff grew, everything grew. The ecosystem just grew, and it's massive. The opportunity is massive, but the complexity now is massive. So
yeah, you can tell they've grown and they've really thought about things. And just jumping back to what you were saying about platforms, we've done a lot. We do a lot of due diligence before we start to provide any kind of platform offering to our clients too. And HubSpot, I can see, and we recommend it quite a fair bit to our clients just based on their needs assessment. But I think before stepping into another platform, like we're just looking at a new one called Framer, and it's called Framer Sites, and it's very similar to something like Webflow, if you know that one. Yeah. But the benefit for us is that you can take a Figma file, that's been very well done by a UI UX person that has responsiveness and things. You can put that into Framer Sites, and it will completely build the front end code for you within seconds, and that saves 2 or 3 weeks worth of development costs, which is crazy, like really, really good. And we see the benefit there, but also the benefit has to be for the client. Is it easy for them to update? Can they change content? You know, do they need to be trained for a week? So then that comes down to our budgets as well. So yeah, it's a matter of just going, like we stick to, I think we've got 4 platforms that we provide these days. So there's Webflow, WordPress, our own bespoke platform for custom stuff, and HubSpot. And I think if you go any further, if you try and stretch the amount of tools that you use, you're not going to be very proficient in them. So that's why as soon as we met at the Founders was it the Founders in Common, event through the Commons. I think that's when my ears went, oh, HubSpot, because you don't hear that often at agency land very much either, from where I've been, I guess, moving around. So it was really good just to be able to see what your thoughts were about it as well. So I think dedicating to HubSpot is probably a very good thing. And then my other question was to you was, about a year ago, HubSpot was going to be acquired by Google, and it was going to be the biggest purchase by Google. I think it was $56 or $57 billion that they were going to spend on HubSpot to acquire it, but it fell through. Do you know much about that?
Zero, nada. I wouldn't say I have any insider info on that stuff, but I think it's not unexpected though, because I think if you were to see HubSpot tools work with the Microsoft suite with the Google suite, like it just lanes better with Google. And someone's going to kill me for saying this, but I've seen it a few times, and I definitely think there's a better alliance with Google. So if there was a company to get it, it would be Google. And also I think HubSpot's traditionally and over time always like worked on tools that I think the companies would just have a natural
analytics, tag manager, console,
all of that. The integrations are just like the easiest, like, to work with. Maintenance is barely anything, and it's native most of the time, and everything's just easy to work with. So I could see that happen, and I honestly don't know anything about the business. No, that's all right, because I found it. But just for a conversation, I feel like there's a big shift in this space anyway, and there's a lot of companies. Like the M&A world is just always evolving, and there's always something going on. Yeah. But like there was a time when HubSpot had a non-compete with Salesforce, for example, and now they have everyone, everyone going they are going up market. They are going to land more Salesforce clients, because there's a lot of disgruntled ones, and it's just a part of, like, I think figuring out, like, the world will have to do some M&A to fit a certain type of
because that brings me to one interesting thing too. On your LinkedIn profile, I think it was, sorry, I've been snooping.
Of course you should.
But I think there was an article that you either created or shared that was about who's going to win the race. All right, HubSpot or Salesforce. And they are very similar in terms of their sales CRM side of it. What do you see is the differences and benefits for each of those?
I think there's just that one story to tell, I think, in my opinion. It's the story that HubSpot will tell you themselves. It's the whole part where Salesforce has been cobbled together over time. And where HubSpot will win is that their whole code base, their whole, central nervous system or whatever you call it, like everything is one, like the UX is one, like everything seems like one, works like one. It's easy to train people on it, adapt to those sorts of things as well. So I think if you look at the people, because at the end of the day, all these systems have to benefit people, and
that's it. At the end of the day, they just need to work.
They just need to work, exactly. Yeah. And like with any system as well, like even with CRMs, like they talk about data so much, but it is, they say shit in, shit out. So it's like whatever goes in comes out in these reports and stuff. So you can't really change what the people stuff. AI might fix some of it. Some of it can't be fixed, and we just have to work on it. It's just like a training, part.
It's clever,
And there's just
because I found, like, with HubSpot, it is very intuitive. There's little steps and guides all the way through to make sure you understand the basics, and you can take it to another level if you want. Salesforce, on the other hand, you need a Salesforce specialist. The pricing's crazy as well. Like, as soon as you get to a certain tier, you're spending $8,000 or $9,000 on just being able to contact someone at Salesforce for support. And that's US dollars too. So it's starting to become, I guess, out of reach for a number of people with Salesforce. And that's where I think there's a lot of people like going and saying, oh, what's HubSpot? What's this about? Oh, I can do this. It connects. There's all these marketplace apps that you can connect into with Xero, like you mentioned before. So that's where we're like, well, this just makes sense. And every time I go into the back end, I'm like, I can do this now. I can track my emails. I can see all the conversations I've ever had. And I can see if one of my clients that I'm tracking is on the website and what did they look at. I'm like, this is unreal. I had no idea. So it's the unknowns of what you can do in HubSpot, I think, too.
Because there's a lot, and that's the thing. Like educating people about the width and the breadth and the depth and everything of HubSpot is crazy.
Yeah.
Half our discovery sessions going like, "Hey, did you know HubSpot can actually have a website on it?" And then they'll be like, "What?" Like
and it's not just a website;
unknown.
it's a full-blown architecture with repos and all kinds of stuff. Like it's incredible. Sorry.
Which is why we say we're building the digital headquarters for your company on HubSpot, because it's actually everything. It's like what's in your database. Sorry, who's in your database? Like what do they need to see? What do they need to hear?
Yeah.
How are they going to contact you? How will you contact them? Like it's a whole... It's everything, and it solves for a lot of people.
So my only thing left to talk about with HubSpot more specifically is once you're in the system, like any system, it's hard to get out, isn't it? So, and again, if your website's hosted on there, you just can't export it and host it somewhere else. Like a WordPress website, for instance, it's all integrated and ingrained in that whole ecosystem. So once, I guess, they've got you're in and you're buying and you're improving your website, or you've set up your sales funnels and things, it's very hard just to go, I want to be done, because, yes, I've noticed like with HubSpot, their prices do go up every year without fail. And I guess, the functionality and features and all that kind of stuff goes with it too. Have you found that too? Have you found any kind of things that make you a bit, what's the word that the youth use these days? Ick?
Cringe? Like, I don't know. I don't honestly have to Google every time there's like a new word. I'm like,
the ick. I think it's the ick. Is there an ick with HubSpot for you? I mean, I know you're an advocate of it, but everything's got its pros and cons. Like, what do you see as some of the things that you just like, I wish this could be better, or I wish they didn't contact me so much, or...
Honestly, I think it's kind of like like you said, there's pros and cons, right? But there's also there's all this info that my brain has stored since 2015 or prior, 2011. So I have to I look at the evolution of it, and I'm just like, okay, so it did that and it did that. Oh, now it doesn't do it. It's gated. I have to pay for that stuff. So you have to then break down your brains into what's free, what's paid, what's super paid, what is crazy expensive. So I think for me, it's more the unlearning of what we know of their pricing. But
Which can be challenging for clients too. If you say that something's included and you find out that that's a feature that you thought was unpaid, it was included, and now it's part of a premium range or something.
Oh, Jay, I have learned to censor myself so much with pricing, because I do due diligence for centuries, give it to someone more clever in my team to look at it and then send it back. Because I think with these things as well, they have changed from having, a standard stamped pricing to this core seat, method, which when some of our legacy clients moved over, it's a bit to understand, but then it makes it less complicated, because I feel those things are more people oriented, right? It's not like a box of things you give to that company and it's just there. People and come in, their roles are different. Their approach is much better now in a way for people to scale. But I think the understanding of it is always very complex. I almost feel like someone could have an actual job just making it less mysterious, to understand their pricing.
They've got their hubs or whatever it is, and then you've got professional and startup, and then each one of those have got its own levels, and it's very hard to then calculate what do I actually need. So I think they just need some kind of calculator and say, I'm going to be running a website.
They have one. They have a calculator. They've got the bundling thing. They've thought about these things. But I think still for clients who come in, it's overwhelming. They just rather have it done for them. Yeah. So, I'm sure someone at HubSpot, the growth specialist or the sales guys would definitely do that for them and package it in.
Yeah.
But when they come to us, we often I think go back without focusing so much on the bundling of a software. We focus on the bundling of our services, and then say, because we're solving for what you only need, not the features that are available to you, but the 3 features that will change your life today, and we package that in.
That's clever.
and then we're like,
so what do you put the HubSpot pricing as part of your pricing model on a monthly basis or something? Is that what you would normally do? Or?
Yes, because most of our clients actually, because there's two ways, right? You can actually get referrals from HubSpot through their team sometimes. It's but I think about 94% of our sales are all like
yours.
I don't think
that HubSpot directory works very well. Like we were on there and you just don't get anything
unless you're like really high up, and then the filters are getting better. I think they're trying to work on it, but there's a lot on there. And I think a lot of US based businesses acquire Australian businesses, and then you're like, okay, there's these big elite ones right up the top. What are you gonna do? But like not everyone needs the big ones. They want someone really doing the personal touch. So I think that's why we kind of fit in, and I'm happy with that. We sort of, I think I don't know if it's just motherhood or if it's just like COVID or like this whole change in like the ecosystem itself, because I started my business in my 20s. It comes with, like, I knew what I was doing in some ways, but like I've learned people are the best and the hardest, bits of growing a business. So I was like, what's the best thing that I can do with what I've got? And now it's nice to be agile in a certain way and not be like overwhelmed by wanting to rank in a directory, but it's a good way to, I think, keep yourself motivated as well. So there's a bit
it's
of
like the new awards system. Like we're not into awards. We'd rather be rewarded by our customers getting the results that they're looking for. But sometimes it's always good to get those reviews on Google. So we make sure that any clients, we ask them to put their reviews on, and that's growing.
Yeah.
But that also helps our search and things like that too.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
I would love if our clients would just do it on their own without
I know,
us
but again, there's so
asking,
many roadblocks. They have to log in and they have to find the page. And so we've tried to overcome that.
I've had it automated. I've had it personalized. I've had it sent out, but it's still like sometimes quite hard for people to find the time. So I was like,
sometimes you tell them like this, copy and paste this testimonial. It's got all our keywords in it. It would work really well for us. And
I think some of them are, but most of them do it. They just do need a nudge though. And it's just a matter of like how easy or hard it is, like you said, for them to actually do it in their day.
And that's sometimes the roadblock as well with HubSpot is, what's this going to cost me, right? So we always put into our proposals, this is the approximate cost that you can expect based on the features that you need with HubSpot. Yeah. And that's just easier for them than having to go through and figure it out themselves.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, let's do the speed round. We're almost there.
Oh my God, stressful.
No, I appreciate it. And then, maybe just before we do that, if anyone does want to work with you at Connect Labs, obviously it's people that are looking to increase their sales, that want to do better conversions on their website, that want to be able to understand where their conversions are coming from, and then have those automated procedures that will email them or highlight or flag certain conversions as being a hot, warm or cold lead and things like that. Is that basically what you do?
Yeah, that's the bottom line of it. Mostly we do a very good job of creating a lead qualification framework for businesses and then mapping that to technology. So that goes from like when someone hits your website to after they become a customer and an evangelist or promoter, and then list that out and then plug in where people fit, and then what tools will help them do the jobs that need to get done. So it's like a core part of like a service we offer called CRM design.
I saw that.
Yeah, it's actually kind of fun because I read it just feeling like the stuff that's there in the real world, like with like how they process map and like say, okay, this is the you can see it and then we'll build it in and blah, blah. But like the complete opposite. We'll like actually build it and just give it to them and say, what's wrong with this bit? Because we've talked about X, Y, Z. We don't want to sit and like keep drawing out pictures or like doing the thing because it's so easy to do in HubSpot. You go and like add a bunch of deal stages and like a bunch of like automation pieces and you say, okay, does this work? And then you're just working with the client and it just sets it up.
So it's so important for those clients that get just emails coming through with inquiries and they're like, have I responded to that person or and should I follow it up? I mean, all these procedures just make it happen.
So if you qualify them, what to say, where they need to go, who needs to respond to them, what automation path they're going to take, at what time they'll bring you revenue, which is all that we want. It's a
great little business. And I wish you all the best. Let's get into the speed round for you. So these are just one-worded answers if you like, or if you want to go into a bit of detail, that's cool. So do you prefer creative or code?
Creative.
Favorite design tool? If you use one.
I mean, I'd say I don't use any very actively, to be honest, because someone in my team would, but I don't personally. So I'm a bit stumped.
Favorite website? One that you access a lot, let's say.
God. Blip at the moment.
Blip?
Yeah, I can't.
What's
No,
Blip?
no. I can't think of anything.
I'm like, what's Blip?
Yeah, there's just a lot.
I know Blippy. You probably know Blippy.
No, you know what? Oh, I know Blippy. Oh, yeah. Oh my God, my brain's. Yes, I think it's. I actually skipped.
Do you know?
lunch,
Just
so
an
maybe.
interesting thing for you. So Blippy, who for those that know, is a YouTube influencer for kids.
Yes.
And he goes around in an orange and blue hat and clothes and all that kind of stuff. Do you know how much he makes per year?
I don't want to know. I just want to switch jobs as it is. Like
I'll tell you though.
Early learning's nuts.
Yeah, it's about $26 million
No.
by just creating video content for kids.
It's crazy.
It's amazing. If you get to that point, and he's got a really good method and process, and now he's introduced new characters, and so he's the Wiggles of America basically now.
I've seen him pop up because
Yeah.
we're very new to the TVs.
All right, yeah.
And we can chat
3-year-olds
about
will be
it.
interested.
Yeah.
All right, this was meant to be a speed round.
I
Sorry
know,
about that.
sorry.
How many
Me
hours?
too.
How many hours a week do you work?
Countless, but at the moment I'd say 27 or something like
That's
that.
pretty good. Yeah, because you've got your mum and all that too.
Yeah, I've got 2 days of mum life, and might change, but we don't know.
That's
Yeah.
good. You're running a business, and that's good.
Oh God, it was miserable before. I worked crazy hours, so this feels like a forced. I have to do it.
That's
so
good.
I'm doing it. Yeah.
What's the app you open first every day?
I think it's a journaling app. It's really something I'm focusing on doing.
Wow, it's like mindfulness and well-being. And
Actually, just the Apple one. You know, there's a journal.
oh yeah, I know the journal one.
Because it
Yep.
I put an alarm.
It asks you
to,
how
like,
you're feeling. And, yeah.
You can add whatever you want. You can add a video. You can add pictures from like what you just did. You can add like a voice thing. And if I just do that, then I feel like I'm better for it. And there's a
Well done.
mindfulness one called Oak as well, which I just hop in and I'm just like quietly listening to it. Because in the morning I get this like 30 minutes of great quiet time.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
beautiful with my coffee.
It's funny as a business owner, sometimes, like for instance, this morning I woke up and I was just like in a grumpy mood, and I'm like, oh, and I've got all these things I need to deal with today, and we've got appraisals coming up, and I'm like, even though it's the start of the year, I'm just feeling the pressure already. And then with these apps, and sometimes all you just need to do is do some breathing exercises and get your head straight.
Yeah.
And we all go through it.
Yeah.
Don't we? Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Dark or light mode?
Light.
Light mode.
Yeah.
Mac or PC?
Mac.
Work from home or work from office?
Office.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Favorite font?
Man, we just set one up that is really bizarre. It's like Fig Tree.
Fig tree.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
just bizarrely in my head, like
Fig
all
tree.
the
I'll have to
time
look it
now.
up.
Because everyone picks like Inter and like all these. I love looking at typography. I'm learning a lot about it off late.
Yeah.
But I usually it's like some branding person's job. But
Yeah. I don't know. Once you start getting a bit of an idea of what constitutes a good website, and it's all the fonts and colours and structure and
It
white
is.
space and stuff. Yeah, you start to go, oh, that's a nice one.
It's
And
beautiful. I've always known stuff,
Mm.
but then I've never loved all the. Now I sit on Google Fonts and just find, and then all like paid fonts to find like pairings and like really weird stuff. So I love that stuff. But if you really ask me, it's really hard. But I'd say
Fig tree.
at the moment it's stuck in my head. I don't know why.
Nice.
I've been
What's more important, design or spec?
design.
What's your favourite snack while working?
God, I love eating an apple. It's really
Apples.
weird.
Yeah, that's good for you. Pineapple on your pizza? Yes or no?
No.
No.
Definite no.
I'm a yes on that one. Summer or winter?
Winter. Even though I love summer, but my skin doesn't love it, and neither does my hair. But I am a beach person. It's really weird. So
Summer.
yeah,
Okay, city or countryside?
country.
Final question. If you could time travel, would you go into the past or would you go into the future?
Oh my God, I don't know. I feel like the past, because the future, who knows? Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of almost scary.
It's
I'd
daunting,
rather
I
not
reckon.
be. But if I can go back to the past, I know exactly where to go.
Yeah.
Like what I want to avoid, and which year I'd rather
play some
prefer.
bets and things,
Yeah. Because there was this beautiful time. My childhood was really lovely in like a beach town. So I'd love to go back to that. It was really fun. And Goa in India, if you haven't been, you should go. It's beautiful.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to. We used to work many, many years ago, 10 years ago or so. We had some freelancers that were working over there. One of them now works here for us.
That's amazing.
So yeah, we got their visa done and brought them over, and yeah, they just say sometimes the countryside is just incredible over there, and
it's divine because like most people know a lot of these places like tourists. It's so different when you grow up there and like climb blackberry trees and pull stuff off, drive a bike and like, I don't know, and do
just
disgusting things to your knees. And then, it's lovely.
Yeah.
I think it's joyous to be like young and not in this crazy city feeling. It's really actually, I'm so not materialistic and I'm so not like into big skyscrapers and stuff.
It's the experiences and the stories and the people and the connections and things. And it's great. You've been able to apply what matters to you outside of business into business. And
I don't think I could survive it otherwise, Jay, because if I couldn't do the right thing, and because the second big sale I ever did, the business owner and his team and her team, like they were co-business owners, and she came up to me and she said like I don't think you know this about you, so I think it's important that I tell you. You sell value without knowing it. You sell without knowing it because you don't know you're selling, because I'm just talking about the things
because you're passionate about it.
I'm passionate about fixing a damn problem. I'm like, and it shouldn't cost sometimes like an arm and a leg.
We're very similar. Like if I see a problem, I'll just fix it rather than go, hang on a second.
Yeah.
Well, I should quote this. It's important. I'm giving them value. They should.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just don't. But at the same time, then they'll go, wow, they fixed that quick. I'm going to get them in for another 10 things.
Yeah.
It makes sense. So
I think I think you can't help it. If your personality does go into your business, you can't. I don't know how to do it separately.
Yeah.
I don't know how to keep those two separate. So I think it will feed into everything I do. Otherwise, I think I can't be authentic and I can't be myself, which means I do shit. Like, so this is great. Like, I just love that, it embodies who you are in real life. It's so funny, till I actually started a business, I didn't know I was an extroverted introvert, because I make friends like easy. I talk to people. Usually everyone in like networking things say, oh, you're so fun, like in a networking event, because I'm actually not daunted by these things. I can do public speaking easy. It doesn't faze me. But I don't know if I have to really gain energy, which is a thing that I've learned as a business owner. I need to shut myself away from everybody, sit with a book, not talk to people.
Everyone needs their off time. I could talk all day, but then sometimes all I just want to do is listen to a bit of old school jazz in the car on the way home and just like reset. And by the time you get home, all your worries are gone and you can spend some good time with your family.
Yeah, that's it. And I've learned to, I think, focus on that a bit more. So I'd say like it's kind of, that's why I said it's kind of nice that I'm not in this like go crazy and push yourself to be the best and rank in directories, but I just want to be passionate and like what I'm doing, because otherwise I wouldn't do this.
It's very similar. I like my little bubble.
Yeah.
I don't have to have a big bubble. I don't have to be everywhere and flying everywhere or whatever. I just think if you've got a great little family and you've got a great job and the people that you work with are happy, you're set. You're done. You don't have to continually keep expanding or growing your own business if you're supporting and helping others.
Which honestly, on the outside, you don't hear enough of, because everyone's like, hustle, become bigger, like become better. What's your growth? I was like tracking growth 150% year on year. This is great. I can do this. Like, this is going to be fine. I couldn't do it. Yeah. And then I think there is burnout. There is learning. There's like the school of hard knocks. There's all of that. And then I think the maturity that there's so much that life is just, business is like a part of like who you are and your life.
And I don't want that churn either. I don't want to be going through employees. Like our employee retention rate's 7.5 years now.
That's amazing.
For any agency, it's about a year and a half. And the reason is we just don't push our team to work stupid hours. They know, and they got families, they got lives. That's, you work to enjoy. You don't, live to work. So I think, just having the right attitude and making sure that the people that you work with or your clients and suppliers or whatever have that same philosophy, it just makes things a lot easier.
100%.
Yeah. So if anyone's keen on, upgrading their conversions and their websites and things, go over to Connect Labs.
.co actually.
.co. That's the modern domain name. So yeah, connectlabs.co. Check it out. And yeah, I wish you all the best for the next couple of years. So it's great.
Appreciate that, Jay. Thanks so much. This has been really great.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Creative and Code podcast.
That's all, folks.
We hope you enjoyed this episode and found it as inspiring and entertaining as we did. Remember, there are plenty more episodes to explore, so make sure you keep listening for more creative insights and coding tips. A big shout out to our amazing sponsors and the team at ID Digital Agency for making this podcast possible. Got a story to share or want to be a guest on our show? We'd love to hear from you. Send us a 2-minute or less audio clip to creativeandcode@iddigital.com.au. Suggestions, ideas, or just want to say hi, we're all ears. Thanks again for listening. Until next time, stay creative and keep coding.